life. Now, the immune system is your body's great defender. It helps stop incoming attacks from viruses and bacteria. It helps your cells bounce back after illness. That's why, especially when viruses and bugs are making the rounds, you should pay attention to your immune system. One of the best ways to care for your immune system and help make it stronger is with food, but not just any food. Our focus today is on eggs. Adequate protein intake is important to support immune response and are a great way to do this since they also contain nutrients. So let's talk about eggs. And you've heard that eating eggs enables your immune system to be really, really strong and also protects you from viruses and bacteria. So joining us via Zoom for a conversation on eggs is Everything Eggs is Nana Ajay. She's a registered dietitian. Good morning to you. Thank you for joining us.
Good morning.
Great.
Good morning, Mama B.
Yes, good morning. Do I get the sense that we're going back and forth with the usefulness of eggs? Sometimes you are afraid to eat more than one?
Yes, I think we are making progress, really, because the doubt was created by some myths that were around. Unfortunately, science sometimes it's not very straightforward because research keeps going on. Science changes, findings come out. So till recently, a few years ago, when it was established that eggs do not affect our health in the way we had always thought they were affecting us, people were quite skeptical about egg intake, but we are making progress.
So now we can eat as plenty, is that it? Like you can just any amount that you can, your system can take?
Well, that depends. So for most people, about 70% of people, your body will not respond to the dietary cholesterol. That's the cholesterol that is in the egg. So for about 70% of people, we are safe with eating as many eggs, if I'll put it that way. However, you may not know if you are part of the 30% that will be, we call them hyper-responders to dietary cholesterol. So we say that to stay safe, it's better if you are sticking to 1 yolk per day. But for the egg whites, it's just protein, so you can do as many as you want. So if you want to do your chibom, restrict yourself to 1 yolk and then add as many egg whites as you want.
So the problem is the yolk?
I wouldn't call it a problem per se, because if you say it's a problem, then that's where people tend to avoid it. The issue is that the yolk contains saturated fat and some amounts of cholesterol, dietary cholesterol. In fact, it contains about 220 and your body needs about 300 in a day. So if you are eating more than one, then you are taking in more dietary cholesterol than your body needs. However, for most people, your body is not going to respond to that. It's going to be digested. It's going to be broken down, so it will come out. So we are safe with sticking with 1 yolk and then eating as many of the egg whites as you want.
Okay, so you can do the chibum, but just restrict yourself to 1 yolk.
Yeah.
Okay. But let's link it to boosting the immune system. I don't know, how does it work?
So one thing I must say is that immunity is not something that you attain in a day. So you cannot eat one food today and expect that if you come in contact with a virus or bacteria, based on what you have eaten today, your body is going to fight it. It's something that you build over time. That's why we say you build immunity. So you need good nutrition over a period of time. And one important way of building your immunity is by eating healthy. There are certain nutrients that your immune system needs to function well, but they have to be available ahead of time so that at the time when the infection or the bacteria or whatever it is your body is fighting comes in, the body's soldiers are already prepared for it. You don't wait for war to come and then you now rally your soldiers to go and fight. You plan and then you execute. So that's how the immune system works. You need to provide the nutrients ahead of time. That's why healthy eating is about consistency. You have to make sure you are eating healthy consistently so that your body is healthy. You are in that state that your body can fight whatever infections.
The quantity of eggs you could take, is it same for children and adults?
Yeah, same for children and adults. For children, we are restricting to one yolk, like I said. But some children cannot even chew their meats and the fish. They like to pick these pieces out. So eggs are a good way you can include quality protein in a child's diet. And when I say quality protein, we have proteins that the body is able to absorb very easily, and eggs are one of those proteins. The body absorbs almost everything. So for a child who is a picky eater, for example, eggs are easy to just whisk into their meals or incorporate into their meals without the child being able to take out. So you stick to one yolk and then you can use the egg whites.
Okay.
But because of allergies, for children, you want to start slow. You want to start by introducing the eggs maybe around a year, when the child has been introduced to other foods and you are sure the child is not allergic to the basic foods. Then you can start adding eggs. You don't add eggs when you start feeding your child at 6 months.
Okay, great. All right, so I want us to talk about what you could do with the eggs, because we're talking about chibum and it may not be somebody's preferred choice. I would usually do the fried eggs. I'll cook the eggs sometimes, and I'll also make pancakes with the eggs. But we need variety. We need a lot more than that. You are the dietitian.
Yeah.
What can we do with the eggs?
Yeah, so like you mentioned, in Ghana, if we are not frying, then we are boiling the eggs. But there are several things that you can do with eggs. So today I'll share a few twists you can add to your eggs so that you get something different. And especially because children are home, it's important to give them variety so that they don't start rejecting your boiled eggs at table. Okay, so one twist you can put on the traditional fried egg is to do what we call a cloud egg. So cloud eggs look like clouds. They have a white fluffy appearance, and you achieve that by whisking just the egg white. So when you crack the egg, you separate the yolk from the egg white, then you add some salt to the egg white, and then you need a whisk or a handheld mixer to do that.
Okay.
So you whisk the white part, yes, that's the image showing. When you whisk it, over time it becomes firm and it blows up and it has a shiny appearance on top. So once you get that, yes, you'll be able to scoop it out easily. So you spread a tray, an oven tray with some parchment paper, and then you scoop the white part on the tray, and you make a hole in the center with a spoon. And then you just pop it into the oven for about 3 minutes. You take it back out and put the egg yolk in it. So this is the way the white people usually like their egg yolks. They like it runny. But if you want it firm, like a lot of us prefer, you can keep it in the oven for a longer time and the yolk becomes firmer. But if you cook it for a very long time, the yolk is not going to appear this yellow. The color is going to change, because then it will overcook.
Okay, I like this twist, but do you put the bread in the oven, or this is toasted separately?
This is toasted separately, so you just put the cloud egg on top.
Fantastic.
Another way you can, if it's adults that are eating it, you can chop some herbs. You can use basil, what we call akokobesa. You just chop some, or if you have parsley, you can chop some, mix it in the white part when it's ready and stiff, and then you bake it.
Okay, and you keep it in the oven for how long?
Just about 3 minutes before you put in the yolk and 3 minutes after. So it's just about 6 minutes. It's a fast dish to prepare.
I'm going to try it this weekend. Okay.
All right.
What else can you make?
And then you can make a French toast. So if you know what a French toast is, it's just the bread soaked in a mixture of your eggs and milk. Or if you are the Fit Farm type, you can use yogurt instead of the milk. So you whisk the egg with the yogurt, and then you slice the bread and just soak it in it. And then you fry it in a little bit of olive oil. And that is it. But for a twist, you can add some cinnamon into the egg mixture so that it has this brownish appearance and it tastes really good.
Any particular type of bread that goes well with a French toast?
It's a matter of preference and your health goals. So if you're trying to be healthy, then I would recommend you use whole grain bread. So you can use whole wheat bread or other whole grain breads. oat bread, for example. But if you are going in for a treat, you can use sugar bread for the sweet taste. Or if you prefer butter bread, that's fine. This one, they've sprinkled some syrup on it. But
I was just going to ask, is that syrup that I see dripping there?
Yeah, it's syrup, but you can use honey if you prefer.
Okay.
Honey would give you, honey is better because the syrup tends to be refined sugar. So honey would be better.
Okay, great. What else do we have?
We have what we call a frittata.
Okay.
So a frittata is an egg, cooked eggs with something inside, like a stuffing. So you can do a vegetable frittata. You chop up your vegetables, you put them in a frying pan with a little bit of oil, stir fry it, and then you whisk your eggs separately.
Okay.
Then you mix everything up and then put them in a frying pan. So it's going to come out. It has to be a lot so that it looks as thick as it is. So this is when you're having like a family meal. So you put the vegetables, add the eggs to it. If you want some herbs, this one has parsley on it. You can use that, or you can use our local basil. And then you cook it on very low heat so that it doesn't burn. So you cover it, give it about 6 minutes. Just when it's done, you don't cook it till it's completely firm. When you still have some runny parts in it, you turn off the heat and keep it covered. The heat will cook through. So when you come back in about 10 minutes, everything will be set and firm. And then you can eat it.
Okay, Nana, you have to go over this again. I'm a bit confused. Initially, it looked like, when you're frying eggs and you're adding vegetables, it looked like that.
No,
but it suddenly looks like a pudding.
Yeah, it looks thick because it's a lot of eggs with vegetable stuffing. So you have that height. So you stir fry. So you need a lot of vegetables. If you're going to rely on only the eggs, you are going to have to use a lot of eggs to achieve.
So what kind of vegetables? What kind of vegetables do you ideally use?
It's a matter of preference. So I would recommend that you have some greens in there.
Okay.
Yeah, so if you can use lettuce, or if you want cabbage, you can use that. And then you have your bell peppers. You can also use aubergines, the eggplant. Okay. Or even garden eggs. If you're using garden eggs, then you just stir fry it for a longer time so that it's cooked before you mix it in the egg. So you stir fry everything, the vegetables together. This one has sweet corn in there. Okay. Yeah, so you stir fry everything, and then you mix it with the whisked eggs. And then you pour it back into your pan that you are using.
Okay. Do you use anything to base the pan? Like, is there some kind of oil?
Oil.
Okay.
Yeah, you use oil. You use oil. So before, you are going to use oil to stir fry your vegetables. And then you pour the vegetables into a bowl, whisk your eggs, pour it over it, add a little bit of salt. If you want pepper, you can add pepper, the powdered one, or you just chop your chili peppers and add it. And then you mix everything up, and then your pan would have some oil already. If it doesn't have, you can add a few drops, and then you pour everything back on low heat. Then you cover it for about 6 minutes. Okay. And then you turn off the heat while some parts are cooked and some parts are still running. Then you leave it so that the heat will cook through for about 10 more minutes.
Okay. Wow. Yeah. I like this. I like this. Is there anything else?
Yes, you can also do deviled eggs.
Deviled eggs?
Yes.
Okay.
So deviled eggs are eggs with the yolks scooped out and some sort of filling in there. Usually, if you are eating deviled eggs in a restaurant, for example, it has a lot of calories because they add mayonnaise, butter, and a lot of other things. But you can make your own healthier deviled eggs using avocados. Okay. So this has the avocados. You scoop the avocado fruit into a bowl. Then you boil the eggs. You have to make them hard boiled so that you can scoop the yolk out. So you take the yolks out, add it to the avocado, and then you can add a bit of yogurt if you have. If you don't have, that's okay. If you have lime juice too, you can squeeze a little bit of lime juice in there, and then you just use a fork to beat everything so that you get a paste like is shown in the picture. Then you use a spoon. It depends on how you want the appearance to be. You can use a spoon if you want a quick thing, then you just scoop into the eggs and you eat it. Or if you want it to look fancy like the first picture that was shown, then you have to use a plastic bag. You put the paste in a plastic bag, and then you cut the end with scissors so that you can pipe the filling into the eggs to get a nice appearance.
I think that's more fancy. I like that.
Yeah. Yeah, it's more fancy, and you can put some of your herbs on it like was shown in the picture.
Yeah.
Okay.
Nana.
And then the last one is you can do stuffed bell peppers.
Okay.
So what we like to call sweet peppers in Ghana, you can actually fill them with vegetables and eggs and bake them. So just like you will be doing your frittata, you stir fry the vegetables. Then this time you scoop the vegetables into the bell pepper. So you cut it in half, take the seeds out, and then you pour your vegetables in there. You break an egg onto it, and then you put some cheese, grated cheese on top, and you just bake it. But you have to cover this with aluminum foil so that the top doesn't burn.
Okay.
And you have a dish ready to go.
Are you baking this for how long?
You can give it about 10 minutes. If you overcook it, so you have this one, you have to keep checking on it so that it doesn't wilt too much. If the pepper overcooks, it becomes very soft and it falls apart. So you just have to keep an eye on it. Once the top looks firm, it looks white, you know that it's cooking well. And then, but basically in about 10 minutes, it should be done. At about 180 degrees in the oven.
I like everything you've shared with us this morning. Yeah.
I hope you try them. They're all tasty and they're healthy. I tried to share healthy recipes because for a lot of us, we are home. We are not moving around.
True.
So if we are going to be indulging in a lot of unhealthy stuff, we will come out and we'll all be bloated.
You're right. Yes, and the kids get bored doing, eating the same stuff the same way. So, well, thank you very much for sharing these alternatives with us. I love it. I'll let my viewers also try it, and then we'll give you the feedback. But
sure, definitely.
Yeah. So that's Nana J. She's a registered dietitian joining us and telling us about the effectiveness of eggs, the role it plays in boosting your immune system, but also what else you can make with eggs. So don't do all chibum, chibum, chibum all the time. Do something new. Yeah. Stay with us. We've got show business coming your way.